What's up, my patient progressors? How y'all feeling today? God is great. God is good. God is graceful. Sometimes I gotta come out here by myself just to reflect and get my chi right. Because lately my chi has not been focused. It hasn't been what I wanted it to be. But I'd say today's focus is I was talking to myself per usual as I do my morning runs and I do Uber. And I was telling myself that people have normalized inconsistency. And I feel like I normalized inconsistency myself in my own life. But that's because I become a product of my environment. So the point that I want to get to is, man, we got to stop being inconsistent. We got to stop making that normalized. We got to stop normalizing inconsistency. This is not healthy for whatever grind we're on, for whatever purpose, for whatever craft we have that we want to invest our time into. It the key winning formula to success factors is consistency. If you're consistent long enough with something, you're bound to win no matter what. And I say that to say that to myself as well. And I want to highly hold myself accountable and say that I have not been consistently at my best, whether it's mental health, whether it's eating right, whether it's spending my time wisely, habits. I could well on admit that I'm not the best at it, but I could tell you this: I get 1% better every day. So every time I speak on patient progress, which shout out to the gear, merch is coming very soon. I'm wearing a million hats right now, but 1% each day can get something done. If you write a list down and you remain consistent with it, and you stop normalizing inconsistency, you can actually get things done. Low key, 1% a day, I'm actually getting things done, no matter if it's 1 to 2 to 5 things I do. According to my list and how fast I go about at least 2 or 3 things a day. But at least I'm doing something. But I told myself I'm gonna hold myself highly accountable and put the deep work in so that I could actually get merch out to you guys, so that I could actually spill out daily motivational videos. I think this is way more important than just putting out music and not being of substance. That's another thing I want to sit and talk about. I want to sit and talk about, you guys and my journey with music. I know not a lot of people are a fan of it. I don't have a solid base, and I know that. But when I first came out swinging with the music, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I just knew that I was really talented. I knew that I could actually rap. But as time went on, I started to question myself and my real purpose and ask myself, is rap really for me? You know, I love a lot of historical figures and rappers that really made it in the game and left a legacy, like, Nas, J. Cole, Nipsey Hussle. I listen to non rappers like, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Gandhi, Muhammad Ali. I listen to a lot of philosophical leaders. And one thing they got in common is consistency and the willpower to stay consistent and disciplined in their craft and what they love to do. So that's honestly, that's what has been my biggest kryptonite with my rap career. My rap career could be a lot more bigger had I stayed consistent, and it will be a lot more bigger, and I will be taking it more seriously and consistent after today. It just has been a hard pill for me to swallow because sometimes you go through life in a hamster wheel and you don't really recognize that you're procrastinating until you become actually aware that you're procrastinating. So I'm at that wheel right now, and I'm to a point where I'm not gonna say I'm not sure if I want this, but I'm in a Confucius stage, and I feel my lyricism changing from worldly to motivational. So I've always heard other artists say, "Hey, take a break, walk away from the pen, and just live your life, experience your life, so you can come back with fresh ideas." And I've tried that, and it has not worked. So sometimes, you got to dive more deeper into your spirituality. So right now, the conditions that I'm in is, even though I'm inconsistent with my music, it's not like I'm not putting in the shadow work that it takes to get consistent. So that's as far as changing what I think and what I believe. My belief system has totally changed. It went from a worldly spirit to a spiritual spirit. Like, I have been thinking on all spectrums in terms of my health, my physical health, my mental health, what I say to others, what I say to myself, and that transmutes into how I see myself in the mirror. So breaking myself down mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, and financially, because that's actually one of my biggest stresses as to the reason why I'm not consistent with my music. If I don't have more than $1,000 in my bank account, I can't do nothing. If I'm not consistent with my money, I'm not going to be consistent in being content with sitting down and actually putting into a craft that right now is honestly not making me no income. So that's really one of my biggest problems right now. I can't really return to rap unless I have my money consistent, and bills are piling up and life is getting hard. Everybody's in a recession, man. But the one lesson that I'm really teaching myself is to not normalize consistency. And I think that is very important. That's one of my biggest lessons when it comes to just my craft in general, my universe, and the ecosystem that I'm cultivating for myself, for others, for my legacy. Not normalizing the fact that I am inconsistent. You know what I mean? And I admit that. And I always refer to my 5 A's. Every time I talk about my 5 A's, they remind me of the reason why I am who I am: aware, admitting, accountable, affirmable, if that's a word, and actionable. So I'm aware and I admit I take full accountability for what I go through and my inconsistency. I'm setting better affirmations, and the affirmations is going to lead to consistent disciplinary action. And that's what I'm on today. So even just coming out here and supplying a video for the YouTube for you guys, because I do it for you guys as well as myself. So when I speak to y'all, I actually hear myself. And I appreciate the fact that I could come out here, at peace, and see the birds chirping and just the wind blowing and the trees just mindlessly sitting here. I can appreciate nature. You know what I'm saying? My feet is on ground. I'm not thinking about bills. It's just me and God. Me, you, and God. And that's how I see my situation right now. It's just me, myself, and I, but God. And also you guys. Whoever's watching, I greatly appreciate anybody who's watching. Thank you to my little 30 subscribers. I hope that we can grow and that we can become a community, a creative, collaborative, coherent, conscious community. One that takes accountability, is aware, admits, accountable, is affirmative, and takes actionable steps to their dreams. I care about you guys. I care about you guys enough to care about myself. I care about myself because I care about you guys. I want to provide the most definitive mental health, wellness brand experience that I possibly can so that I could help our next generation, if not our current generation. I want to help our current generation leave legacies that are worthwhile. And I want people to understand that if you just get consistent with something, you can do it. Consistency without motivation, it turns into motivation eventually. And motivation, if you can mold that into dedication and dedicate yourself to something, whether it's public speaking, rapping, clothing brand, designer, whatever it is, you an architect, athlete, I always mention this, there's plenty of other jobs. You know what I mean? Getting your degree in something that you believe in college, no matter how much money you're spending, if you're just consistent with that, you will take off. And I'm preaching to myself too. And I'm telling myself, like, respectfully, I don't care to make it in the industry. I don't even care to make money from it. I would love to do that though. My goal is to monetize my brand and sell my music directly to the consumer via my websites, keep all my money inside, you know what I'm saying, and give it back to my customers, my loyal fan base and supporters. You know, even with this, I plan on monetizing the channel once I get more subscribers, once I get more views. But you know what? We got to start from the bottom. We got to start somewhere. It doesn't matter where we start. Just remember the main idea of the video. Never normalize inconsistency. When you stop normalizing the fact that you are inconsistent, you'll start to become consistent. Understand that consistency doesn't start without becoming aware that you need to be consistent, because you know that it's important to you, and on a daily that you stress about it. Number two, admit that you are inconsistent. These are the 5 A's again, how I'm implementing them into the video, into the main idea. Pay attention. Awareness. Be aware that you're inconsistent. Admit that you're inconsistent. Take accountability to the fact that you are inconsistent and that you can be more consistent with yourself. Take affirmations. Preach these affirmations. Look yourself in the mirror for at least 5 to 10 minutes a day. Give yourself 5 if you're with low patience. If you have a high tolerance for patience, take 20 minutes. Look in the mirror. Find yourself. Look into your soul. Set affirmations. I can, I will, I must be consistent. I can be consistent because God gave that to me. I woke up today, so I have the ability to be consistent with something. I will be consistent because there's no other way. If you say won't, then you're programming your brain to believe that your body should follow through with that action. I must be consistent. These are affirmations. Set these affirmations for yourself and start taking consistent action. No matter if you lose the motivation, the dedication, keep going. Stay disciplined, because that's what I'm doing. Every week, I get at least 10% better. I'll never be 100%, but that 10% probably gets knocked down a couple weeks. You know what I'm saying? So I could be 70% good this week, then the next week I could have a horrible week. And I could be inconsistent. But as long as I remember to get back up and break my record, I could be 50% good this week. The following week, I could be 100% good. Then the 100% could go down to 30. Then the 30 can go down to 10 the following week. But as long as we're consistent with our grind and not normalizing inconsistency, we will finally start to see some kind of progress with our patience. If you have enough patience, you will make progress. You see how this adds up? It's crazy. It's crazy how it adds up. But the fact that it is, give me 1 second. The fact that my brand actually coincides like that with every topic that I introduce to you guys or that I talk about, it's just amazing that I have this brand. It's amazing that I have this ability to talk, and I'm not perfect. I come on this camera and I cut some things. Some things are BS what I say, you know what I mean? But I try to give you guys the most rawest part of myself. I try to give you guys streamlined advice, wisdom, you know what I'm saying? And I believe that, like I said, if you're just consistent, you'll be all right. Just stay patient through the process of it. So to get back to the music, I haven't been consistent with the music because I've been having imposter syndrome. I haven't been consistent enough with writing, so I don't trust what I say. So I'm reading this book called Artist's Way. Shout out to J. Cole because he read it. I heard it from him. My man Trill, he actually, shout out to Trill Will, my guy Will, man. Love you, bro. He gave me a digital version of it. So today I'm going to actually read a little bit of it as I'm eating breakfast. But I want to say shout out to the Artist's Way, man. I heard something about 7-minute drill, man. All it takes is to actually start something. Start it. So today I'm actually going to start writing. I'm going to journal. I'm going to take my time. After I get done with my job, I'm going to take my time and actually sit down and write. because I am very skilled as a lyricist. Sometimes I just don't know it because I get so blinded with life. I get so consistent with paying bills that I get inconsistent with the passion that keeps me alive, the fire that's in my soul. I hate that for myself. But you know what? Today, that ends. And I hope I can inspire you by taking accountability for myself. I can inspire you. And I can motivate you to stay consistent. And I can motivate you to believe that being inconsistent is not normal. It's not normal, guys. We don't deserve that for our lives. Whether it's a relationship, whether it's mental, physical, spiritual, emotional, financial, we deserve to be consistent on all levels. Whether it's love, even love, self-love, and love externally. We deserve consistency. We deserve reciprocity, reciprocation. But if we want to have that outward, we must practice that inward. We have to practice consistency inward, mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, financially. First is the mental. We got to get our mental health right. We got to be consistent with that. Because once you're consistent with that, the body is going to follow through with being consistent with the physicality, going to the gym, spiritually, getting right with God. If you're consistent with God, God is going to keep giving you the signs that you need to keep progressing forward. Emotionally, that emotional intelligence is very powerful. And I can admit I am a victim of that. I'm a suspect too. I'm emotionally intelligent to a certain extent, and I can admit that. Do I crash out at times? Hell yeah, I am a human being. No one's going to stop me from feeling my emotions. But the thing I have learned how to do is regulate them. Wear my different hats with my emotions. Understand that I can't just lash out on everybody. That's not what I do. But some people just off of one bad experience with me, judge me for the rest of my life. And they think I'm a certified crash out. Little do you know, I'm consistent with my emotional intelligence. There's times where I'm inconsistent. There's times where I fail. There's times where I don't succeed with staying mentally still and emotionally still. But that's okay. That's called me being flawed with flesh. But my spirit is pure. So as long as I practice being consistent, I won't get into the culture or a business model of normalizing inconsistency. You understand what I'm saying? So as long as we can be conscious, aware, admit, take accountability, set positive affirmations for ourselves, and take the steppable actions that it takes to win and succeed. Success is not overnight. It could be overnight if you want it to be, mentally, because I see myself winning every day. Driving the baddest car, Rolls Royces, having the most beautiful wife, over $1 million in my bank account. I don't care to be a filthy rich person. I just care to be comfortable and content enough to provide for me and my people, especially my wife and kids, if I have any. All I want to do is be comfortable and content and wash my money, rinse and recycle. You know what I'm saying? And get that steady cash flow right that it takes to actually live a pure, content, comfortable life. Because right now, a lot of us is in survival mode, and that's why we're inconsistent. That's mainly the reason why we're inconsistent. I'm currently going through that. I just climbed out of survival mode. That's why I'm able to sit here and give myself free time enough to talk to you guys. Because you guys are the people I really want to tap into. So if you're seeing this video, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart if you made it this far. If you made it this far, comment down below what you think about it. Are you inconsistent? Tell me your inconsistent journey right now. Tell me where you're at presently today and where you want to be in the future and where you've been. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Remember, never normalize inconsistency. Patient progress. Stick to the script. Go through the process patiently and you'll see the progress. I love y'all. See y'all in the next video.